Hello, Traveler! Here we go with the finals match versus Ravenn. And at first I'm thinking he might have some taunt, he is a poison type, blah blah blah. I'm probably going to go for Super Fang. Instead he just blows up, so it doesn't even matter everything that I was thinking, and that's just how it goes. He just blows up, so whatever. And I'm thinking of what to bring in next, and I'm like, well, I've got a Scarfer with Intimidate. That seems like a pretty good thing to bring in. In comes a Mixtier, however, and I'm like, well, he's usually really bulky, so I don't think I could 2-hit KO with Double Edge. Plus, that would get me hurt. I don't know exactly what he's going to want to do, if he wants to put up some utility, or maybe he's just a sweeper set in his own, and if that's the case, then who knows what he's going to do. At the same time, what am I going to do if I don't stay in? Am I going to go to Zapdos and do what? Melodic and do what? Blissey and do what? Blaziken? Yeah, whatever. So I decide it's probably best if I just stay in, go for a Double Edge, and see what happens. You know, I've got no idea what he's going to predict, so I'm just going to go for it. And luck favors the bold. I end up getting a critical hit here, which is really, really useful, because clearly I would not have 2-hit KO'd without it. He puts up Stealth Rock, but now it's pretty close to range, and I'm going to be able to just barely take it down, doing about 33 to 35% damage. But there's a disconnect, which really sucks. I don't believe it. In fact, I know it wasn't him. I ran into a problem with this team a couple of times, or with this game, I should say, a couple of times, where they would send out a dude, and at a very weird spot in the disconnect, it just shuts off. And this happened in a few different cases. In round 1 with Darth, in another match versus Tubes, I think I tried to play, and this happened. So after a few more disconnects, we just realized that our games are not compatible. They just don't want to play. So I had to trade my team over to Gold Rules 2, as you can see Gold's video at the top, and he had to play for me, and I was in a chat with Gold telling him, you know, what I wanted to do, and he had to tell me all the moves, and so it was very weird, very awkward, and I didn't get to actually view what was going on myself. I had to read about it, so it was tough, to say the least. So we start back up where we left off, and this is how things would have played out without that crit. Depending on damage variation, it's a 3-hit KO, or in this case, a 4-hit KO because of all the lefties he gains back. So that crit ended up being really huge. He just kept going with Stealth Rock the whole time until I finished off, because he obviously didn't get a chance to use a second move. Jump Bluff comes in, and I didn't think I was going to 1-hit KO. I knew I had a chance depending on its spread and all that jazz, but I didn't really want anything else to get slept, because they go in, they get slept, and nothing happens. I figured I'll just go for it. I get it down really close, low enough that it can't sub up, so it has to Leech Seed up. I know Leviathan probably wasn't, maybe it wasn't the best choice of dudes. I don't think he would have Grass Knot, but I do have Ice Beam to take care of him, and despite Leech Seed and Leftovers, he's getting just barely less than his subs, and I do have Recover. So at the end of the day, he's not going to win this stall war, and he's going to lose a lot of his substitute uses. So he gets out of there. If he wasn't Flying type, I would have absolutely gone to Blaziken instead and just Vacuum Waved, but because of Leech Seed, I certainly couldn't have gone for that route. So Snorlax comes in. I want to go to Blaziken because I can truck it, but I don't know what it's going to want to do, if it's offensive, if it's going to try and curse up. So I get Confuse Ray on it to see what its move is. It hits itself first turn, which is fine. That gives me a perfect opportunity to recover myself. Excuse me. And he just blows me right out with Whirlwind. I'm like, what? That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. At least not used against me. Maybe in someone else's vid. But if Zapdos came in, that would have been fine. If Blissey came in, that would have been okay. If Blaziken came in, that would have been great. But no, Tauros comes in. I'm just like, really? That's the worst option that I could have had. So I go with Superpower, knowing that Jump Bluff was weak, and knowing that Mesprit was gone. So I'm like, Superpower is just going to wreck this team. And then it comes a Gyarados. I'm like, what? Why didn't you bring him in? So I do have T-Punch, so I know I can take out Gyarados, but I'm already -1 from the Intimidate and another -1 from the Superpower, so I'm not going to stay in that case. I go out to Melodic, and that probably wasn't the best thing. I was fearing Stone Edge and didn't want to go to Zapdos for that reason. And HP Electric on this Melodic would be so much nicer than Confuse Ray, but I don't have it. Confuse Ray was my better option. And now, after he's already got a +1 and thus gets a +2 on the switch, Zapdos is my only option to not lose this on the very spot. I have to hope for a Stone Edge miss. He ends up not even having Stone Edge, so he has to just switch because he doesn't think he's going to kill me at +2, and he knows he's going to die when he doesn't. So he just switches to be safe, brings Snorlax back in. I don't really remember what I was doing with that T-Bolt. Yeah, I don't remember the exact train of thought as opposed to subbing or doing something else. I think it was me just wanting to find out what he could do, and then I get paralyzed. I'm like, well, that sucks. Granted, I've got Bliss with aromatherapy, but that sucks. So, and then he wins me out. I'm like, meh, whatever. Not too big of a deal. I think I got Parahax on a Roost. I don't remember. I go for T-Punch expecting Gyarados, but he saw that coming, unfortunately, and goes for Body Slam. Thank God I didn't get paralyzed. So I am going to switch moves now, though. I can't really justify these two turns in verse record. I needed webcam because I took a long time for both of those two moves, and here it goes happening in 10 seconds. That was a really hellacious part of the match. Both of us were like, man, each of these two turns are coin flips. I thought Blaziken was just going to be able to truck through his team, and instead I lost out on the prediction of Gyarados, which ended up coming in later. He predicted a switch or a something with that move. I'm not quite sure. That or he expected a -2 T-Punch wouldn't hurt so bad, but that did a lot of damage, which I was really glad to see. So I suppose depending on, or considering how things played out, that wasn't as bad as it could have been. He ends up going with Bounce, which misses. Granted, it wouldn't have KO'd Melodic anyway. It would have put some damage on there, but I end up getting chances to recover with Melodic before anything would have happened for it, and I do finish off Gyarados with Ice Beam. So I suppose, I don't know, things definitely didn't work out as well as they were supposed to because Blaziken was pretty much home free, but he scored a great move there. So I go to Bliss because I need to get that Parahax off of my Zapdos, but he gets a crit, which it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it doesn't allow me to do what I wanted to do, and it forces me to soft-boil up for a couple of turns in a row, and I guess I'm fortunate in a way that he stays in with Snorlax as opposed to, me needing to soft boil. He switches to something else. Like, what's he going to do with those two turns? So I went with aromatherapy first instead of soft boiled, knowing that I can't get paralyzed since he'll hit me with Body Slam first, and that once I get rid of it, I'll be faster and I'll be able to heal up on Snorlax, should Snorlax still be in there, but it's not. Infernape. Blaziken's in there. I know Superpower's coming because he's got to take care of Bliss. Obviously, I had Chopal, but I don't remember if I felt secure about going for counter there or not. I'm not quite sure. This match was over a month ago, and I'm just now getting to the vid, so I don't remember my exact train of thought there, but obviously I knew I had Chopal. Oh, no, because I didn't get to soft boil. That's what it was. Bliss had no HP, so whatever. He switches to Hidden Power Electric, and it's just like, figures, I should have roosted after all. But he ends up getting a crit on it. Zapdos is down. I'm like, this sucks. I have to go to Melodic now, knowing that Hidden Power Electric's not going to kill me in one shot. I'll be able to take care of his Blaziken. And things are a little bit tougher right now. It got off to 5-4 real quick, but my Zapdos is gone. In the first few matches, Zapdos never died. I had easy routes. In the last few matches, Zapdos has died, and it's been a lot tougher. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't really know what I can do to Snorlax now that Blaziken is gone. I'm going to have to saw this thing out. He's just got a Snorlax and a Blaziken himself. And I think at this point, I'm just going for Freeze Hexes. I think I'm just Ice Beaming the whole time. Honestly, I haven't been looking. I've been busy thinking about what I should have said and don't have time to say. But let's see, recover up there. That makes sense. Yada, yada, yada. What am I doing? Come on. What am I doing? There we go. Ice Beam. You guys knew what I was doing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But that's all it is. I'm just going for freezes. I think he mentioned, well, I don't know, whatever. But this is a tough turn because it's like I need to go to Minerva so I can heal up, and then Superpower doesn't scare me at all. And at the same time, I could have stayed in and gone for Hydro Pumps, and either one of those is both a very good option. But he took a really risky switch, and like I said at the start, luck favors the bold. It really paid off because I went to Bliss, and I'm just like, why would you predict that? I didn't think it was necessarily the better play or even something worthwhile, but I guess all he saw me do was recover, Confuse Ray, and Ice Beam. So Maybe he thought Infernape was going to be good to go. Or I keep calling him Infernape because that's his nickname, Blaziken. But I don't know. I was like, I'm stunned you made that switch. It was really risky. Not even necessarily the right play, but you made it anyway, and it worked for him. So thankfully I was able to, despite having Melodic die, he was low enough where Life Orb took himself out regardless of what moves he picked. So now I've just got Bliss in here with S-Toss. I don't know if I should have gone for that second soft boil. I think I should have just been S-Tossing the whole time. Like I was about to mention earlier, though, I think I remember he said he doesn't have rest. I don't think he's curse or rest, and obviously he's got leftovers instead of Chesto. So I think that's the case in this regard. Thus, the freeze isn't as big of a deal. That is the exact reason I went for Ice Beam the whole game and never showed Hydro Pump, is to get some freeze hacks out there. So at the end of the day, with Soft Boil going up on me, Body Slam being a 3-hit KO, and hell, even me having counter on there, just get him halfway dead and then counter on one of his Body Slams that hits me for, 200 points, it's definitely going to wreck the Snorlax. So I don't think the freeze was the biggest deal in the world. Obviously, it makes it look really bad because this is a disgustingly long freeze. But I do believe I win out in this 1-versus-1 wall match. So in the end of the day, I am going to win out regardless of freeze hacks or no freeze hacks. Snorlax goes down. That's going to end this tournament. I wish I had my own webcam here instead of someone else's verse record. It was especially extremely difficult to play the match like that. I can't emphasize that enough. But I pull out this win, guys. A massive sweat wipe from my brow. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys soon. Peace, guys.